guys, happy Tuesday. How are you doing? So once again, since it's Tuesday, here I am. I'm going to talk about stuff when it comes to your content marketing. All right, so my camera says live, so I think I'm going, but I'm not sure. Okay, now I think I really am live. Hi, happy Tuesday. So once again, because it's Tuesday, here I am, here to share some helpful stuff when it comes to your content marketing, getting your business name out there. I'm all about making sure that you whatever you're putting out there is actually effective. So I'm going to go a little bit off of the content part of things a touch, because this is just a question I've gotten a lot recently. So you guys know I have that content membership. So every month, every Sunday you get new content to help you post on social media. But especially for the new bookkeepers who come to me, good morning, Amanda Claire, how are you? It's good to see you. So especially for like the newer bookkeepers who are coming to me, they have this content, they finally have something to post, but then the problem they run into is like, where do I post it? How do I share it? How do I find new clients? So the example I put in the description for this video is that, it's great to have, like a good script to share, but you wouldn't go out on and perform a play to an empty auditorium. You want to have butts in the seats. You got to have someone you're talking to. And so if you only have like 15 people following your page and that's the only place you're posting, and then only some of the time, it's not going to do what you want. The idea is, if you have this content, if you want to market on social media, you want it to have an effect. So this is kind of like an add-on tutorial, I guess, let's say, for the content membership that I do and like posting on social media. So I'm going to share stuff that I've learned from my mentors who are much more successful than me, what's worked for me, my clients, and my colleagues. Once again, this is not the only way to do things. I am never going to say that. This is just a way that has worked consistently for me and for others, and that feels good to me for marketing on social media. So once again, I'm all about content marketing. Good morning, Chea. How are you? It's good to see you. So I'm all about content marketing, putting good content out there, building trust, building authority, building relationships that way. But once again, that keyword relationships, I'm all about relationship marketing. So in order to like build an audience of people who like need what you do and will eventually buy from you, you have to connect with them, especially early on in your business. It's like when I started my writing business, it's just like, I don't know how to find these people to connect with, and I had to learn. The good news is what I'm teaching today is more for brand new businesses, specifically for bookkeepers, because that's my niche. But it does work for other new online entrepreneurs, okay? What I'm saying today is more for new people. I do get into like more of like the nurturing in the later stages, but I'm just gonna go straight from the beginning, straight from scratch, how to put butts in the seats that actually, will matter for your content. So I've got 5 steps. Once again, I try to make it super simple for you guys to like follow through and understand what I'm going through, because I know that I put long videos. So 5 steps: you need to find, you need to connect, you need to nurture, and then repeat 3 and 4. So define, find, connect, and nurture, and then repeat, connect, and nurture. Okay, so I'm more in the connect and nurture like cycle over and over again, but I really want to take you from the beginning, that way you know where to get started if you are started. Because again, people talk about the snowball effect, because this does snowball. It's just like, I'm now in a really good place where I have a warm audience and great clients and I get referrals, and it's fantastic, but everyone starts somewhere. So I want to help those who are starting from that place, right? So I want to say a few notes up front when it comes to audience building and things like that. One, what I'm talking about here, what has worked for me, what this is all about, I'm talking about organic audience growth. I'm not talking about using paid ads. I've never used paid ads. And while I'm not super familiar with the strategy there, I do know and have heard over and over again that you really want to have a good organic base before you move into the paid arena. So keep that in mind. So once again, this is about organic audience growth. Number 2, I want you to keep the right metrics in mind. So I have an example for this. There was a woman who signed up for my membership briefly, and I was confused why she did it first, because when I followed up on like her background, because I like to know my clients, she had like something crazy, like 10,000 followers on her page, and I'm like, why? Why is she signing up for my stuff? She's obviously in a good spot. But when I looked on her page, even though she had 10,000 followers, she had zero engagement. There was like the only comments on there were obviously from her VA. Her posts weren't viewed. It was amazing. So I want you to keep in mind, keep the right metrics in mind when it comes to building your audience. I don't want you to get concerned with getting to like 10,000 followers on your page or anything like that. Quality over quantity. I only have a couple hundred who followed me. I don't send, I don't spam people with page invites. I want it to be organic. If you want to, follow me and be in my circle, great, follow me. I don't care if I have 9,000 people who are also following me, who are never going to buy from me or don't care what I have to say. I care about having connections and having relationships that are mutually beneficial in a business. So remember that. Don't buy followers. Gross. You don't need it. You don't need it. You can build a great business that's profitable and healthy and not have like those vanity metrics, I guess is what they say. Another thing I want you to keep in mind when it comes to building your audience, it's not an overnight thing. This isn't something where you'll watch this video and tomorrow you'll just be set, have all the followers. It's not like that. Remember, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating, when it comes to building trust, it's something that takes time. But you get a reputation. And this is something that, you can do consistently. It's not hard. You can do it consistently and then it pays off. Once again, like I said, I also went through these steps. I went through like this hard, going out, finding strangers, getting connected with them process. We all have to go through this, like this early networking. But once you do it, once you build that trust and stay consistent, it does snowball. And you can't wait until it happens. And I'm so excited that it has for me. And I want you to know how to get to that snowball point. It's not overnight. It does take patience. You're going to have to put this in for at least a couple of months. But it pays off, and it does get a lot easier with time. Like I said, I have a wonderful audience of people that I'm connected with, I get to work with, and who reach out to me for work. It didn't happen overnight, so keep that in mind. And the 4 most basic things I can tell you for this: be active, be consistent, be social media by the way, be helpful. Those are like the basic things I can tell you for this. So, all right, so 5 steps: define, find, connect, nurture, and then repeat 3 and 4, right? So let's start with define. So something you have to do, like especially as a writer, and this happens also when you're trying to put the right butts in your auditorium seats, right? You have to define the people you're bringing in. So, for example, if you want to work with, let's say, middle-aged construction workers, you're probably not going to want to advertise on Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? Have a really clear idea of who you want to work with. Do you have a niche like law, or for me, like I have bookkeepers? Do you have a niche? Great, go in that direction. Are you more broad? Do you just want to connect with small businesses who need financial help, who need marketing help, who need whatever? If you want to be more broad, okay, but make sure that you pick a direction to go. If you try and talk to everyone, you talk to no one. So make sure you pick who you want to work with. Define that person. I do have an ideal avatar worksheet. You can find it on my website. I didn't link it here. And that does help. But I don't want you to get too worried about figuring out the size and flavor of the latte they get at Starbucks on Tuesdays. Just try and figure out who you're talking to. Get an idea of what their business is like, what they're dealing with in their business, how you can help them. That's what people want to know. How can you help me? And then figure out where that person, once you've defined that person, okay, I want middle-aged construction company owners and office managers. Okay, where do they hang out online? Which platforms and groups? So that's always a really hard one to answer. The best thing I can think to do, and once again, I have a tool for this, like I have a list of like more than 90 bookkeeper websites. Find out other bookkeepers who are doing the same thing as you. Do you know of other bookkeepers who are working with lawyers, or who are focusing in the medical field? Find other companies online, other bookkeepers who do that, and see where are they marketing, where are they getting the most engagement. Are they posting on LinkedIn and no one's saying anything? Are they posting on Facebook and getting tons of comments? Okay, maybe there's something there, right? And once again, you don't have to be in all the places. A lot of people tell me, we're just like, should I be on every platform? Do I need a Twitter and an Instagram and a Facebook? Blah, blah, blah. No. Figure out, once again, you're defining who you're talking to. You're talking to these construction workers. Where are they most likely going to be? Once again, you can take hints from your competitors, your colleagues that are in the same field on where they get the best responses, right? Target those places. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, and I'm going to bring that up again in other ways here in a minute. You don't have to be everywhere. Just be in one or two places where they are and be there well. Do higher quality on one or two platforms. For example, it's like Facebook is my bread and butter, guys. This is where I connect with you the most, make the most relationships, and I am happy and busy. And I know lots of other of my clients, they may hone in on just LinkedIn or hone in on just Facebook, but they do really well on one or two platforms, and they do great. So don't worry about having to be everywhere, okay? Anyways, so you defined who you're working with. You've done a little research to figure out where they're hanging out. Great. Now, if they're on LinkedIn, clean up your LinkedIn profile, make it professional, the links working, get everything addressed to them. It's your love letter to them. If they're on Facebook, do the same thing there. And then make sure, that you're writing benefits that that person will care about. So you're defining, you see how once you define who you're talking to, everything kind of follows in line. Where you post, what your profile looks like, right? It's a really good way to direct your efforts. So, you know who you want to attract. And I understand, sometimes you feel like you're shooting in the dark in the beginning. I kind of felt that way too. It's just like, I think I have a good crossover. I think I'm solving a need. And it's okay. You kind of have to play a little bit. That's all right. Just try and pick something and run with it. And if it doesn't happen in a couple of months, okay. See what is working. You can all, there's no silver bullet. I really wish I could give you a silver bullet. I really, really, really do. And give you a guarantee on this will absolutely work every single time. But that's not how this works. But it is something that you can keep adjusting and keep getting more tuned in on. You can get the feedback and data you need from all of these platforms to be like, this is getting comments, this is working, these people like this. It's great. Anyways, so 1, define who you're talking to and figure out where they are. 2, now you gotta find them. All right, so you picked a platform where you think they are. Now, how do you start new relationships? How do you find these people to start new relationships with, right? Okay, so you have this person and you're trying to figure out how to interact with them. Maybe you have more of a general background or aim. You just want small business owners. What has worked for me is you could do free groups, you could do paid groups, and just keep friending and connecting, keep doubling down on whatever you come across. So free groups is a great place to start. You've heard of this. So if you are looking for small business groups to be a part of that are free, awesome. Some of the best ones are local ones. By the way, if you're a woman, Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs is a really super robust one. You do, I think, need a paid membership to really get a lot out of it, but if you want a place to start interacting and get your feet wet in a free group, that's a really robust one if you're a female entrepreneur. Anyways, find the groups that your kind of client that you're aiming to interact with is hanging out in. Look for healthy groups that have lots of people, that have lots of posts from the admins in the group, that have lots of comments on the posts from the people in the group, that seem to be adding members pretty frequently. Find those active groups. So here's what will probably happen. You'll probably sign up for, you'll put into your Facebook search bar, construction companies. And maybe 5 to 10 groups pop up. So you're like, all right, sign up for all of them. Or something like that. Or if it's just small business, you sign up for 15 or 20 of them, right? Once again, I don't want you to worry about trying to be in as many groups as possible. I want you to find a couple of good ones and just go full force in a couple of good ones. Because once again, you need to build trust, build relationships. You're not trying to post and ghost that won't get you anywhere and your energy is just expended. Find a couple that are active, that are healthy, that have good members, and get in there and start building relationships. So one way you do that, and that I encourage people to use the membership that I have 3 different posts that I have in there. So the thing with groups is that the admins didn't build them for you. They either built them for themselves or they built them to be strictly helpful. So that means almost every group like that for entrepreneurs is just like no spamming, no selling, except maybe a specific day of the week. So what you can do though is you can be helpful. So for example, in the membership every week I send out a pre-written post, and it's got like, a YouTube link or an article explaining sales tax or whatever. You can share that in these groups, preface it with something like, hey, I saw someone else on a previous thread struggling with this. In case it helps, I wanted to share this with you guys. Let me know if there's any way I can help. So once again, you're not getting them to jump on the phone right away, but if you are consistently being helpful, knowledgeable, wise in that group, people are going to remember you. Once again, this is why you want an active group. You want people who are actually seeing the content, right? That is a way to show up and make your business known without being, like, buy from me. I've had people who will try and jump, I've been in groups before, and I have one of my own, and sometimes people will just jump in and try and do sales pitches, and guess what? They get booted immediately, no connections, it doesn't matter. Take the time, get into a couple groups, really build into it. And so again, be conscious of the rules of the group. If they say no sales, okay, you can't sell. There are ways around it to build relationships without it. Now, I like free groups. It's a really good place to get started and understand how it works. But paid programs and memberships is where I've found the best relationships, connections, and places for referrals and relationships. These don't have to be expensive paid programs and memberships. So I'll go into what I found, what you can look into, things of that nature. So find paid programs and memberships to be a part of. When people's skin is in the game, even if it's like, I had a really good one. Actually, my current VA, I found her in like a sales boot camp through Ryan Dowdy, who was great, and I think still does those boot camps from time to time if you want to get in on that. I found her in this group. I paid $47 for a month of like interaction and like heavy online networking, and it was great. $47, that's it. But there's something about having even just a little bit of skin in the game that makes the relationships different, that people take more seriously. So one of the first things that I paid for as far as like training and groups and stuff like that was Alyssa Dillon. She was my first business coach. And I was in like one of her group programs early on, and I had a couple of calls with her, I think. But the 2 things that really helped me as far as it came to connections is, one, she made an offhand suggestion in her group. She's just like, you know what, I think you guys should have like accountability buddies. So a couple women and I were still friends, and all 3 of us doing really well in our businesses today. We're just like, you know what, let's do that. Let's make a connection. One of them eventually became a client and actually is a great source of referral for me. I've been able to do lives in her bookkeeping group. And another one is an artist friend. I've actually, because I have an artist talent on the side, that's a whole other story, I've actually done work for her, and she and I have referred each other back and forth and stuff like that. But I built these relationships with them on like a personal level, but I got to know them because we were in this paid program together. That's how we met. That's how we knew that we were taking our business a little more seriously, I guess. Not to say that if you're in a free program, it's not serious. I'm just saying from my experience, people who put even down just a little bit of money on something, there's just something different about how they relate to the people in the program. So another part of it is like when it came to Alyssa, another thing that I took advantage of while she was offering it is she had a mastermind. And so once a week, she'd have a call and everyone would get on. And so I got to know these people through messaging throughout the month, like I'm having this problem or that problem, how can I solve that? So I got to know a small group of people and build trust on like an intimate basis. So it was really, really, helpful. And then another person, Gabby Abrams is someone I respect a lot. I've gone through one of her group coaching programs. It was short, like 6 weeks. It was a couple $100 when I did it, but I was able to make connections with new people through it, which was fantastic. And also, I learned something and met new people from it. You always want to be bringing new people into the mix, and paid groups are a great place to start. Again, one of these places, it was $47. It's worth it. It's worth it. So once again, look up Brian. If you're starting out, look up Brian Dowdy. She's a great place to start when it comes for that kind of stuff. So also, I know this is something that people sometimes have like a little bit of a resistance to when it comes to doing their business on Facebook, less so on LinkedIn. You're going to want to keep friending and connecting with people constantly. People you don't know, people you haven't really connected with. So something that has happened for me over time is as I've friended more bookkeepers, more accountants, Facebook, will suggest, well, we think you know this person, maybe this will be your friend. And that works out fine for me. So make sure that you keep adding new people into your network. So as a quick caveat, I friend people all the time, almost every day, but definitely every week. Not everyone accepts me, and that's fine. I have people who try and friend me to their business, and I don't always say yes. That's fine. Don't worry about it. You're not offending anyone, you didn't ruin anyone's day. It's just not how they use Facebook, and that's okay. Once again, it's about quality, not quantity when it comes to your connections and your audience. They're just saying, okay, I'm not a good fit for you. Fine, that's fine. So another thing I want to point out is just so the groups and the programs and the mentorships that I was a part of, they weren't all just strictly I have to connect with bookkeepers and they are just bookkeepers. Part of it was just I did want to keep learning, but I also knew that I could connect with like-minded people and we could have kind of collaborations. So I've been interviewed on Facebook Lives. I've had a podcast interview, with people who are in similar fields. I've been asked to, contribute to this project or that project. And that was beneficial for me too. So keep an open mind on who you can have those partnerships with, right? So yes, so that's finding the people. That's finding the people on social media to put the butts in the seats. That's how you find them. So, and then number 3 is connect. So this is about what you do after you send that friend request and they accept it, right? This is how you go from finding the right person to bringing them into your world. So something that I'm very consistent about and that the membership I make is made for, keep being consistent on your profile and page. Post good stuff regularly. Let them know what you have for sale, for offering. Share valuable stuff in your field. Post engagement posts to get up your algorithm and to get them to know you. And again, ta-da, I have the membership for it if you want to sign up. And the link is in the description. And when you get to a point where people are commenting on your post, comment back, interact with them. And also, I want to encourage you, I told you before, it's just this isn't something that happens overnight, super fast. So you gotta have an element of keeping the faith. I want to tell you a quick story on that. If you do this consistently, you will have lurkers that you don't know about. For ages, I would watch my view count go up on these videos, and I'm I have 100 views, and I have 0 or no one comment. What's happening here? And it's really a good reminder of there are more people tuned into what you're doing than you may think, so try not to get discouraged. I have one client now who loves my work, has hired me multiple times, but for 6 months she watched my videos, read my content, but never commented, never liked anything. And then finally, when she was ready and when I posted the right thing at the right time, she's like, all right, let's get started. And then now she's hired me over and over again. So keep in mind that there are people in the background who you may not be aware of, but if you keep the faith, this will add up. There will be a tipping point. So you can work on that connection, that nurturing on your page, on your profile. Be helpful, be engaging, stuff like that. On an individual level, keep friending people. And like I gave the example of if you're in a program or a free group or something like that, go beyond it. Especially in a paid group. It's just like, you can reach out and have a call. I had someone do that and I loved it. She and I had a couple weeks in this group. We had this good connection through the commenting in the coursework. And she's like, you know what? Let's just have a call. We weren't ideal clients for each other, but it was a good call, and I'm connected. I'm in her circle. She recommends me every once in a while. It was really good. Um, so, and when you're connected with these new people and they're in your news feed and things like that, comment, engage with their stuff. If they post, beautiful portraits of their kids, say something. If it's their birthday, post on their line. You may not really know them. You may just be connecting with them on a business level. That's okay. You can still be a kind person, interact with them. And then when they see your name and it's just like, who the frick is this again? They can click on you, see what you're about, and it's like, oh, that's right. See? But honestly, when it comes to the individual level, just be helpful. Be helpful. Be a nice person. Be helpful. This is how you build trust, and it's also how you build like your authority. It's just like you know what you're talking about, right? So make sure I do content, I do marketing, social media marketing. That's what I talk about. That's what I share about for people that I know are in my audience. If you're a bookkeeper, share about bookkeeping content. If you're an artist, share about artist techniques or tools or tricks or whatever. Be helpful. It really is as simple as that. And I also want to make a quick note on sending cold DMs. It's possible, but you need to be careful. So the reason I was in Ryan Dowdy's sales boot camp, which I loved, it was great. Again, not expensive, made great connections. She helped me wrap my head around the possibility of sending cold DMs to new contacts. There's a way to do it and a way to not do it. I like the way I learned from her. It made sense to me. I'm sure you guys have all gotten this by now. I don't want you to do it because it won't help you. Don't send the hey girl as soon as you friend someone. So there's a pattern that some people have. As soon as you accept their friend request, they reply back real fast, hey girl, and a template message about how they're starting this new service, this new class, this new offering. It'd be perfect for you. And it's just like, you just sent me a friend request. I don't know you from Adam. I never ever reply to those. I usually ignore them. Sometimes I say no thank you, it's not for me. Doesn't work for me. But I did, and the problem with that is you're making it about yourself. You're reaching out for your benefit. But the idea is to build relationships and serve these clients. It's okay to reach out to them as long as you're making sure that you're finding a way to make their world better and understanding where they're coming from. I spend a lot of time on my sales calls and in my DMs. Sometimes people will ask me about one service and I'll end up suggesting something else or saying maybe it's not a good fit right now because I want to know where they're at and how I can genuinely help them. And sometimes they're not the right person or they're not in the right place, and that's okay. Once again, I make it about them. So a way you can handle messaging someone through the cold DMs, if you're really trying to be aggressive and connect with people, that's great. The baseline knowledge that I learned from Ryan and that has worked for me is that make it about them. Once they've accepted your friend request, take a quick scan on their Facebook profile. What are they working on? How many kids do they have? What are their interests? Mention something they're working on or set in their timeline and say, hey, I saw that you did this. Your kids are beautiful. I love that trip. And then ask if there's any way you can help. And if they'd like to connect for just a quick coffee chat. This is especially helpful right now during COVID when you can't really network in person, blah, blah, blah. And I accidentally did this correctly very early on. I didn't realize I was doing this right. But for example, I had posted on a bookkeeper thread, and I got a lot of responses from bookkeepers who were just like, yes, we love a content writer. We'd love help with writing our content online. And all of a sudden I had all of these people who had expressed an explicit interest in what I do. So what I did is I sent DMs to every single one of them. And in each one, I looked up a little bit about that person. I remember specifically one woman, she had recently seen a comedy show of one of my favorite comedians. I mentioned that in my message to her and asked if there's any way I could help her, and if there's anything I could do for her. She was very kind. She didn't hire me right away, but a month later, she's like, you know what? I need some help with branding writing. Can you help me with that? So it matters to put in that little extra bit, and you'd be surprised how often people don't do that. But here's the good thing. You may have to go through a period of cold DMs, but the beautiful thing about the snowball is I'm at this point now where I don't really have to do that anymore, and it's wonderful. It's completely necessary. It's not a bad thing, especially if you do it right, make it about them. But the thing I like about this content marketing, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to do it anymore. I have a very warm audience that I care very much about, and I'm getting referrals because I built it up. It does take building up from scratch, and cold DMs done right is not a bad way to get there. Okay, so you connected with these people on an individual level in your content on your page, and you want to nurture them. Now, I don't know how you feel about this. It took me a while to get my brain around it, but one way I nurture people is I have a CRM software. I take notes on people. When did I talk to them last? What did they express interest in? What is their problem? What is the link to their website and their Facebook page? And I don't know if you may feel that too, but here's the thing. I don't have a good memory. I can't keep everyone connected that I connect with in my head and all their details straight. It's not because I don't care or that I'm just trying to get their money. That really isn't it. Of course, I want to be hired, but I want you to think about it this way. So I care about my grandparents. I don't remember all of their birthdays. I also have nieces, and I don't know their birthday at the top of my head, but I have them in my phone. I have them on my calendar, and they all have 2 alerts, a week before and a day before, right? Because I want to remember, I just don't up here. So I find tools to help me relate better with them, to be a better aunt, to be a better granddaughter. So I do that with my sales too. It's just like I want to care for them in that way. I just can't keep all the details up here. So I keep track. I set reminders for myself so I can keep in touch. Like, hey, we talked about this lead magnet last month. You said that you weren't ready. Can I help you with it now? They say no, fine. But following up does matter. It's nurturing it. It's showing that I'm paying attention to what they actually want. And even if you don't have a very big budget, I've played with many CRM systems. You can start out for free with something like Trello and HubSpot. You can get a lot from it. So if you need a place to start, it's a really good place to help have an outside brain from your head. So care enough to keep track. It's okay that you need software for it. Normal. When I have warm contacts that may become clients, I make sure I comment on their posts. I may send them a DM to check in from time to time. And a lot of times I'll get occasional questions from these people like, what would you think about this? Or I had a problem with this, or can you recommend an app or a software? And usually I will. You'll know when they crossed over into Vampire and they're just trying to get a lot of information out of you for free. But the first, couple of questions, just help them out. It's fine. And you'll be this very nice person who's very knowledgeable, and it's okay. And then once again, I also have warm contacts, a beautiful audience of people who are never gonna buy my bookkeeping content, and that's okay, because there's ways that we can trade value. It may just be supporting each other as entrepreneurs, but I've been on other people's Facebook Lives, I've been on podcast interviews, I've been asked to contribute in coaching programs, and they may not be people who've hired me, but I have these symbiotic relationships with them that lead to more opportunities, more connections, more work. And then another way that I ask my current clients to nurture whenever I finish a project. So if you have any projects in process, ask for testimonials from your current or recently finished clients. The best time to ask for a testimonial is when you've returned something good or done something well or finished the project. That's a really good time to be so glad you love it. Wow, you're so happy. Here's the link to my testimonial page. If you could leave something, that'd be amazing. It would do so much for me. And that's a way I continue to, I cycle it back into my my content, into connecting with others. So I stay I nurture those relationships, whether they're potential clients, current clients, or even not clients at all. And then I keep repeating. I keep connecting. I keep making friendship requests. I keep signing up for programs. I keep commenting on, current and potential client posts, sending congratulations, happy birthdays, just staying in people's worlds and being nice and being helpful. And that's how it built up to where I am now. So that is what I've got. This is a long one today, so sorry about that, but this is something that has come up a lot in the past month or so, especially. People have been asking, like how to use the content membership, how to find the right people, things of that nature. So I wanted to give you a really good place to start, especially if you're starting from scratch. So 2 quick things before I go. 1, if you want the content membership, there's a link for it in the comments. You can see a week's worth sample for free. Download it, use it, it's all yours. And 2, I do have new content strategy coaching positions available. I've got 2 for the month of November that are available for signing up, and I've already been talking to a couple people about it. So if you're interested in learning more details on how I can help you specifically with your content, so it's more successful, more results, I'd love to help you. Through the content membership, I've helped other people double their client base, and one who just signed up a month ago got 4 clients, mostly as a result of the content. So something good has happened, and I'd love to help you with getting better results through your content too. Anyways, that's what I got today. I've gone on long enough, so I'm gonna let you guys go. But I hope you have a beautiful Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.